Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show, part of Pittsburgh Baseball Now. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo, and with me, as I usually say always, but I mean, you're like never with us anymore, but with us gracing his presence tonight, Jim Rosati.
I took 2 days off. 2 days. You were off for like 4 straight days, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I know. Whatever, though. I'm back. You're back. Pirates losing games is back.
Yes. I think today's game was it was watchable. I enjoyed parts of it. Mm-hmm. And then, it was the end, obviously, didn't go our way. But I think there were some good things to take from the game. I think there were some bad things to take from the game. And that's why, ultimately the bad things prevailed.
And I fully just agree at this point in time. Like, there's some bad things to just keep at that game as well. And that's Yu Chang. I just like
Well,
why do you pitch hit for him at that moment? He's
the Pirates struck
terrible.
Out 17 strikeouts tonight, too.
I understand.
Like, you're not going to win too many games when you strike out 17 times. And obviously the worst was in the 10th inning, when they were able to get a runner to third base with nobody out. And Jack Suwinski, who's been on a little bit of a rough stretch here the last 4 or 5 games. 0 for 5, he had his third strikeout of the day in that situation. And the Rays were conceding the run. Like, they were giving the Pirates the run in the 10th. And if he just got the ball in play, even if he grounded into a double play, the Rays were giving the Pirates that run in the top of the 10th. And just a bad game from the top of the order. Suwinski and Reynolds, both multiple at-bats that ultimately cost the team the game. The two of those combined, 0 for 10 with 4 strikeouts. And those two at-bats in the 10th inning ultimately decided the game.
Yes. I'm still just upset about Yu Chang. But as a team, you are correct. And as a whole game, you are correct in the fact that it was watchable. Mitch Keller had his start today, and he finished rather strong in that. Ultimately there was 3 runs that was scored, some home runs. There was some excitement there. It went pretty dull, and then the end came. But I guess let's start with Mitch Keller in the beginning of the game. So he came in to start today. Of course, we're all interested in Mitch Keller because of the 2-seamer and how well he's been pitching up to this point with it. So he goes in this game, gives up 3 runs. But what was your takeaway from it?
He had 1 poor inning. I think the rest of the game was very strong. He started off in that first inning, 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. And then, like I said, the second inning, things kind of got away from him. What was it? Single, walk, single to start off the second. Pepper in a balk in there. And next thing you know, you're down 3-0. So that was bad. But I think, the one thing you can kind of take from this is prior to this whole sinker, Mitch Keller, right? If we're talking about pre-sinker Mitch Keller, he puts up an inning like that where he gives up 3 runs and he's down 3-0 in the second inning. And I felt like it would just always snowball right? And then, the next inning he'd give up 2 runs, and the next inning he'd give up a run. And the next thing you know, he ended up the day with 3 1/3 innings, and he gave up 7 runs. Like that was a common occurrence, I felt like. But today, he had that 1 inning, but then he shut the Rays down after that. 1, 2, 3 third, 1, 2, 3 fourth, got into some trouble in the 5th, but finished it strong, stranded 2 runners. And he ended up putting together a solid outing. I mean, the term quality start is 6 innings, 3 runs.
Mm-hmm.
He went 5 innings, 3 runs. I feel like that's pretty much like a modern day quality start almost now.
We'll grade him on a curve.
Yeah. But overall, and this is a good Rays team also. I was very impressed with the Rays pitching and bullpen today. There's a reason why this team is 38-32, and with a $60 million payroll or whatever that they have. They've got good players. They didn't pitch a single pitcher today with an ERA above 2.53. And they pitched 5 different guys. So it's a good team that they faced. And so when you're Mitch Keller, if you're not, pitching your best game,
right,
you're going to lose today. And that's what happened. Like he pitched good enough to keep the Pirates in the game. It was 3-3 when he came out. Bullpen, I thought, did a good job for the Pirates as well. In the end, it just came down to the Pirates couldn't take advantage of the stupid Rob Manfred run on second rule.
Right.
The Rays were able to take advantage of it. So that's ultimately what it came down to. And the strikeouts played a big part of that. When you're striking out all the time, you can't advance base runners. You can't get yourself into situations where somebody can score on just putting a ball in play, like making something happen. The Pirates' only 3 runs today came on 3 solo home runs. They were not able to string together any sort of offense other than that because of all of the strikeouts. If they were able to get somebody on base, that opportunity was quickly swindled by strikeouts.
Yeah, well, that's been the Pirates' one of the Achilles heels all year is the strikeouts. What was it? 42, I think that we counted in like 3 games they had against. Was it the Giants? What series it was? But it was terrible. It's been problematic for sure. But what I want to go do is say back to Mitch Keller. I'm 100% with you. Like this to me was a good enough outing. It wasn't great. It wasn't sexy, but he did his job. The Pirates are still into the game. And this reminds me much. I don't remember if it was the last start or the start before, but I think Tyler and I did the post-game show that day. And like that was our biggest takeaway because there was a rough outing that time too. We had like 1 big inning. And I think the biggest takeaway was, although the start was decent enough, I think a little bit better today, much like today, right? The biggest takeaway was the fact that you're not seeing this Mitch Keller who implodes after having that inning. Like he still head into the game, go out the next inning, and he did the job. He retired 9 guys in a row at that point. Like you're seeing a fundamentally different Mitch Keller. We're not talking about just the sinker ball. Like we're talking about psychologically almost. And that was a big topic last year. Ryan set off Twitter on his stupid tweets, and he's not even part of North Carolina anymore, about how he looks on the mound, right? Yeah. And like that's a big takeaway from this. Like the fact that he didn't pitch well was a positive because ultimately at the end of the day, he still finished strong and he went 5 innings and he kept the team into the game. And if Mitch Keller can continue doing this, I'll take this all day long. And I think up to this point now, even with today's start, I think his ERA is 2.98, I believe, since the sinker.
Yeah, it's in the 2.9s since he added the since he rejoined the starting rotation with the sinker. He's got an ERA below 3. Yep.
So again, that's great. I'm not expecting that the entire time, but like this shows me Mitch Keller is a different pitcher.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, today was one of those worst starts since coming back into the rotation.
Right.
And it's not like it was terrible. I mean, I'm not going to fault any pitcher for giving up 3 runs in a start. He went 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Like those numbers are fine. Like if your starting pitcher gives you that day in and day out, you're going to win some games,
Right.
Now,
if you don't strike
in order
out
to win some
17
games,
times.
you're going to have to not strike out 17 times. Right.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was a solid start for him. Like I said, not great, not bad. It was fine. I think really, like I said, the biggest thing to take from it is, yeah, I mean, he had the 1 inning, but then he rolled the rest of the start. I mean, he backed that up with 3 straight zeros.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the balk hurt. That was self-imposed. But
yep,
adding the sinker, pitching towards contact a little more, you're going to give up hits, and sometimes you're going to get BABIP'd. So, like, I'm not going to put that on him either. Like, that's going to happen here and there, but he limits it. And that's what he did today. That inning was a little bit self-imposed, a little unlucky there. But yeah, ultimately, again, at the end of the day, it was a good enough outing for this type of team and to keep the Pirates in this game against this type of a team. So, yep, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 3 earned for him. And again, the big thing, no home runs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a fine start. Bullpen again came in. Cam View came in.
Yes.
Pitched well. Scoreless inning. I think he gave up just 1 base runner, but it was it was just a single. Chris Stratton came in, looked good once again. I think a lot of people were down on Chris Stratton, but after today, his FIP is now lower than it was last year. So he's the ERA is a little inflated because of a couple bad outings, but for the most part, he's the exact same pitcher he was last year when he was a guy that you could count on. So he came in a big spot yesterday, Chris Stratton, and he did a good job today. Also comes in, in a tie game, late innings, and 5 straight outs. Didn't allow a base runner. So good job by Stratton. Anthony Bonda with an inning in the 3rd, scoreless. Wasn't expecting that. When they sent him back out for the 9th, I was like, I don't know about this one, but
same.
He got the job done too. And then they put Yerry De Los Santos in a big spot, in that 10th inning frame. They've kind of been easing him into this role for a while now, and you've now seen him the last few times out being put into higher leverage situations. Didn't work out today, but I mean, I'm not going to blame him for giving up 1 hit in an inning. Like, he gave up a single that was a ground ball through the infield. Like, it's just stupid that the rules are, if you do that, you lose.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, like you mentioned, the guy was on second to begin with, and then Heineman didn't get a good grip on the ball to throw him out. I mean, he stole 3rd, and Heineman just gave up. It looked like as if he didn't have a good grip on the ball and the reason for it. So, yeah, I mean, the guy gets on 3rd base right away.
It's just one of those games where, I mean, I think the Pirates played okay. Like, they played a good defensive game today. Like, there weren't any errors or anything like that, other than the balk. The balk was kind of the one big mistake. But it's just one of those things where
throw off he made a great play defensively, bad throw, but didn't really hurt anything.
Yeah, but I think this is it just goes to show you that, like, when you're playing teams that are good, like the Rays, you've got to play almost flawless baseball, and they just weren't able to take advantage of all the opportunities that they had, and that ultimately cost them the game. Like I said, not being able to take advantage of that opportunity they had in the top of the 10th. That was it.
Yeah, agree. But hey, kudos, because we're talking about obviously the 17 strikeouts. Pirates, I mean, they scored. They did the long ball today. Michael Chavis, for one, is just
back-to-back games.
He's a demigod when it comes to left-hand pitching. I mean, he's just unreal. He's like, okay, I will concede maybe now. I won't say I'll concede. I'll start conceding. I'll give you a little more towards your Michael Chavis is better than.
Okay.
Oh God. Who?
Gabby Sanchez.
Gabby Sanchez. Yeah, I was gonna say Annabelle Sanchez. Gabby Sanchez. All right, I'll give you a little more credit right now because I'm seeing more of this and more of this, and I just love what I see. Again, it's when it comes to left-handed pitching, he is going to be a great platoon guy because he has the multiple. Like we talked about like Jay Hay, like he's a platoon guy. Jay Hay, maybe not all over the field like Jay Hay could, but he has some versatility to him. He's fine defensively. He's playing a good first base.
He's playing a very good first base.
Right.
I think you can already see his value at first base just in this last week or so. You know, you've seen him make a lot of really nice plays at first base. Yeah, I don't want really him in the batter's box against a right-handed pitcher. Like he's not good against righties at all. But when it comes to lefties, you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody I'd rather have in that batter's box.
Seriously, he's one of the best on the team. Yep. I mean, it was a 138 weighted run created plus coming in today against lefties. I know that's higher now, but he hits the home run today. 2 hits, went 2 for 5. Just looks outstanding against left-hand pitchers. Sorry.
And another 2-hit game for Oneil Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
He does bust the RBI streak he had going on, but I mean, a 2 for 4 game. One of his hits, actually both of his hits were off of lefties too. So I mean, it was another thing where like the Rays had out of the Rays 10 innings that they pitched, 1, 2, I mean 8 of them were thrown by lefties, and Cruz had the hard single off of the fastball. It was 110 miles an hour. Both of them were off of springs, I believe. But gets the fastball hit, and then he had a hit off of a slider too. So 2-hit game for Cruz. I thought he looked good defensively today as well. Made some good plays out there. I mean, the more and more you see him, the more and more I think he can play shortstop. Like I haven't seen any red flags so far that like he just can't do it.
Right.
And then the hitting, like you have to like what you see so far offensively. He's not trying to do too much, which you almost always kind of like that was always kind of a fear of mine was like you've waited all this time and you come up and you want to do so well.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really seem to be doing that. Like he's using the middle part of the field a lot. He's driving balls to center field. He's using the gaps. He's just smoke. I mean, I think he's had 3 of the top 10 hardest hit balls of the season so far, and he's played 6 games, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
Yeah. 5.
So it's just the dude's fun to watch. I wish they would actually just move him up. Like, I don't want to see him batting 6th anymore. Like, I want to see him batting 1st or 3rd. Like, if Hayes is in there, go Hayes, Reynolds, Cruz.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I mean, versatile lefty, I guess I kind of no excuse to be batting 8th and behind Yu Chang like the other day. But I don't absolutely hate this, batting 6 versatile lefty. But again, I wouldn't mind that at all. Like you're saying, batting 3rd.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm going to go on against is right. It's another day passes. It's been 5 games, and albeit I understand it's just 5 games. But in those 5 games, right, we haven't seen any red flags, anything atrocious from Oneil Cruz to say, yep, that's why he needs to go to the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen some good plays. Yes, yesterday, you could argue he probably could have got that ball. There have been a couple throws that Chavis has really made outstanding, some good plays at first to make the play that might have, if it was another first baseman, right, that was incapable of doing it, could have been an error or whatever. But there hasn't been like an error yet. There hasn't been a play yet that you're looking to say like, hey, Oneil Cruz, like I can see why they want to move him off, or other people want to move him off. He
Yeah.
looks like a shortstop. He's made some good plays. So today,
Mhm.
add on to that as well. Talking offensively though, Hoy Park, 2 hits, home run.
Sure.
I'm not here to get excited about it, but I'm here to just
Yeah. I
state
mean,
that he's playing well enough. And again, if we're talking about the Yu-Changs of the world, the Josh Van Meters, like all these other players that also were coming back, even like the Yoshis.
Yeah.
Hey, Hoy Park could potentially be something, whether it's just a depth piece where others that we're talking of aren't. He is quietly producing right now somewhat. He does have the versatility. You know, I'd much rather see Hoy Park on this team than, again, the ones I just mentioned. I mean, it's another home run. That was his ticket in the trade, right? In the minors.
So I'd rather
got
see Hoy
some
Park
pop.
than Yu Chang. I'd rather see Hoy Park than Yu Chang. But honestly, if we're comparing Hoy Park and Josh Van Meter, like Josh Van Meter is probably better.
I hate you.
I know. But like I think he is. I think he's better. So I don't know what to tell you. Sure, Park's doing fine. He's doing fine, but the offense and defense really hasn't been there. Van Meter's defense has at least been pretty solid this year, other than when he forgets to step on bases. Actually, his defense has been bad too. I don't know. They both suck. I don't even know why we're arguing Hoy Parker, Josh Van Meter. They're both bad, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The more I dig deep, I don't like either of them. I don't want to see either of them on the team. I guess if I had to pick one, sure, Hoy Park, because he has less at bats than Van Meter, so he's like just, I guess, less of a known factor at this point. But like, it's not like he's even all that younger. Like Hoy Park is a year younger than Josh Van Meter. It's they neither move my needle in any way.
That's perfectly fine. So then how about this? Let's go with Diego Castillo. He also had the home run tonight.
He did. And he's been playing really well lately. I still think Diego Castillo could benefit from some more like seasoning in the minors.
Mm-hmm.
You still look at it. He's hitting below 200. He's not walking at all. He does have some pop. Like that's a tool that he has. Today was his 6th home run. You prorate that over a season, and he's like a 18 home run middle infielder. That's not awful, but the fact that you got to be able to hit a little bit, like have some sort of a hit tool, and he hasn't really shown that at all. I think it's there, but just needs more seasoning. So I guess if I'm saying, but again, if it's between like Diego Castillo and Yu Chang, I'd rather give me Diego Castillo, right?
For sure.
But I don't think he's necessarily ready for like everyday playing time right now.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be best in Indy as well. I think I'm out, Jim.
Yeah.
I think I'm losing it.
I think when it comes to today, though, Park played well. Chavis, again, we talked about him. Like the home run by Castillo, the home run. I mean, Park had that home run today. This offense they're gonna have to stop striking out so much, and they're gonna run into an issue tomorrow. Like tomorrow is gonna be worse than today. They face let's see. They face Corey Kluber tomorrow. Sunday is the bad game where they face Shane McClanahan. So I don't know, like whatever the over under is on strikeouts for that game for Shane McClanahan, I'm just telling you right now, like, this is 100% financial advice for everybody. You should take the over.
I'm taking the over. Absolutely.
Like,
I mean,
they're
Mills.
typically, because I bet Shane McClanahan over strikeout totals quite often. They usually set them right around 7.5 or so, 7.5 to 8. I mean, the dude is like a walking 8+ strikeout guy on the regular. And I feel like against this Pirates team, he has an opportunity to strike out like 13 or 14. Like, it's going to be a stupid amount of strikeouts. His stuff is nasty. His last 4 outings, he's gone 8 strikeouts, 9 strikeouts, 7 and 8. And he's faced some pretty good teams, the Yankees, the Cardinals.
Right.
And
those
so
teams
now
don't
he's
strike out a
facing,
ton.
yeah, and he's got the Pirates on a Sunday getaway day. They're probably going to be sitting half their lineup.
Right.
I could see that being like Cruz's first off day too, like Cruz versus McClanahan. Maybe, let him sit against the really tough lefty, give him a day off, and so like you won't have Cruz in there. Who knows if you've got like Reynolds in there? Maybe Reynolds is sitting, but it's gonna be it's gonna be a rough day on Sunday. So that hopefully they can put something together tomorrow, because even though Sunday is Rowan-Z Day, I don't foresee much offense on Sunday.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm with you.
But I think that's really all we have about today. Like I said, overall, decent, not great, not awful start by Mitch Keller. Saw some good signs from him. Like I said, it's a little bit of power today, 3 home runs, but just the amount of strikeouts, couldn't get anything else going. Solid bullpen work. And defense was fine today as well. It was just the Rays were better. The Rays were better, and they took advantage of situations that the Pirates couldn't. And that's ultimately what led to the Rays 4-3 victory in 10 innings against the Pirates.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. So tomorrow it's going to be JT Brubaker, who's on a roll. Brubaker is looking good right now. So let's see if he can keep it going. He's going to be facing Corey Kluber. Kluber's kind of getting a resurgence this year too, down in Tampa. He's been pitching really well as well. So Brubaker, Kluber tomorrow. It is a day game, so a Saturday afternoon game, 1:10 p.m. Eastern time. And I guess that'll do it for today. Pirates lose 4-3 in 10 innings. That's all I got, DiNardo.
Then let's get out of here.
Right.
I need some more tea. All right. We will see you then tomorrow after the 1 o'clock game. Bye-bye.
See you guys.